Alright, we're still doing our final exam review, and we're going to look at number 4 this time. So number 4 says consider this equation, and we want to find the center, find the radius, and graph it. But what you have to do is this is not in standard form. So we need to make it in standard form by completing the square. So I'm just rearranging things. That's all I'm going to do is rearrange it. And you notice I have these gaps here, and I'm going to complete the square with both of these, the version of completing the square. So what I want it to look like is x minus something squared plus y minus something squared equals something. Let's remember how the center goes right here in these two spots, and then the radius is over here, the r squared. Well, what I can do is completing the square. So what you do is you take half of this guy right here. Half of this is 3. Positive 3, so I'll say plus 3. You take half of this, which would be negative 5, and I say minus 5. Now think about this for a second. If I was to multiply this out, I would have x squared plus 6x plus 9. If I multiply this out, remember x plus 3 times x plus 3. X times x, x squared, you get 3x, another 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. Well look, I don't have a 9 up here. I've got the 6x now. I got the x squared, the x, 6x, but I don't have a 9, so I need to add 9 over here. But if I do it to one side, I got it to the other. Let's see what would happen over here if I multiply this out. So I would want to put y squared minus 10y. Negative 5 makes 10y. And negative 5 times a negative 5 is going to give a positive 25. Well, I don't have a positive 25 here. I got this part and this part, but I don't have the plus 25. So if I do it, I need to put a plus 25 here. And that's alright as long as I do it to both sides. And when I take 33 plus 9 plus 25, that gives me 1. So what I wind up with is the answer, well, in standard form at least, is the circle of x plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 1. These numbers right here are your center. So the center is at negative 3, positive 5. Remember how these signs will flip if you're talking about the circles, center of the circle. The radius is this guy right here, but remember, this right here in the standard form of a circle is r squared. So r squared is equal to 1, and to solve that you take the square root, so the radius is 1. But if this here, what if this had been instead of a 1, it had been a 4? Well, your radius is not 4. The r squared is equal to 4, so the radius is actually 2. So that's a big what if. What if that number is not 1? If it was 16? If it was 25? What if it was 25? Well, the r squared value is 25. You have to take a square root to find the radius, which is 5. So whatever that number is right here, you take the square root of that to tell you what the radius is. So let's see what we need to do. We've got to find the center, we've found the radius, and now we want to graph it. So we graph at negative 3, 5. And the radius is 1. So we'll plot my little points here at 1 around it, and try my